The Boston Celtics just finished their second preseason game versus the New York Knicks, and even though it was a loss, 114 to 107, some players on the bench actually proved some roles for the Boston Celtics with the Big Six sitting out. Guys like Dalano, Banton, Svi Mikhailuk, guys like Jordan Walsh actually got to show off their roles for the Boston Celtics, and it paid off for them in this game. Also, Kristaps Porzingis speaks out about his first preseason game for the Boston Celtics. We got that all covered here on Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. But before we get into the Celtics news today, I'd like to say that 89% of our viewers are not subscribed, and we'd greatly appreciate it if you guys hit that big old red subscribe button and welcome and join the Celtics Digest family. Guys, we just hit over 750 subscribers, and I can't thank everyone enough that's already hit that subscribe button. Thank you to everyone. But we're on our way to get to 1,000 subscribers, which is our goal. So make sure if you guys want to get your Celtics content almost daily, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and tune into Celtics Digest. But let's get into the news at hand for today, starting off with Kristaps Porzingis being happy to be in Boston. And this is ecstatic. I'm thrilled to hear this from Kristaps Porzingis, one of the two big trade acquisitions for the Boston Celtics this offseason. And we had to get rid of Marcus Smart, who was my favorite Celtic, one of the ones that I was sad to see go. But Kristaps Porzingis has looked amazing, obviously performing great in his first preseason game. And this is what he had to say after the W yesterday. He said that was insane about the TD Garden crowd following the Boston Celtics preseason win over the 76ers on Sunday. That was insane for a preseason game. I don't know what else to say. Porzingis made his debut for the Celtics on Sunday, and it may have just been a preseason game, but the atmosphere inside the TD Garden was that of a playoff classic. I mean, it was a fun game to play in, a fun game to watch at the end when Payton Pritchard was going off, and the whole crowd was into it, Porzingis said. And this is awesome to hear that Kristaps Porzingis is loving the atmosphere already. The Boston Celtics fans are showing it on their first preseason game. He already knows that when they get into the regular season and in the playoffs, they're going to be even more intense and bring that passion even more. And that's great to hear from him. And he even said this as well. He said, "I am very happy to be a Celtic. I'm not going to lie." And this is the great news that you want to hear come out of one of your newest trade acquisitions in Kristaps Porzingis, the guy that you're going to want to be your third or fourth option on this team. You want to hear this news. I am so ecstatic to hear this. Kristaps Porzingis, thank you so much for showing out in your first preseason game. Even though you didn't get to play tonight, we thank you enough, and we hope that the fans can provide a great atmosphere for you to excel in Boston. But let's get into the news on the second preseason game following the loss versus the New York Knicks. Like I said, the Celtics did lose 114 to 107, but their rotation players were finding their roles. Yesterday, guys like Payton Pritchard went off. Guys like Lamar Stevens and Oshae Brissett were handling business on the defensive boards and crashing those boards. And I love to see those things from those players. And we got to see some similar things from them tonight, but we also got to see some great performances from some players that didn't get to play in the first preseason game. Let's look at the team stats here first. Obviously, the Celtics shot a little worse from field goal percentage and shot a little worse from three, and that's how they ultimately lost this game here. They ultimately also didn't have that much control of the ball. They did turn it over a lot. Obviously, they did not have their big six. No Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, or Kristaps Porzingis. So you're running with your bench rotation, and these bench guys obviously are going to be a little bit sloppier. They don't know how to handle the ball as much, but some of the guys did excel. Guys like Dalano, Banton, Svi Mikhailuk, guys performed for the Boston Celtics, and I'm ecstatic to see it. Guy like Svi Mikhailuk played amazing tonight for the Boston Celtics. Amazing. He had one of the best shooting nights from the Boston Celtics, finishing with 15 points, shooting 3 for 7 from three-point range, and honestly performed like one of the better shot creators on this bench alongside Payton Pritchard. You also had a guy like Dalano Banton who was creating his own shot, attacking the rim terrifically for the Boston Celtics. I really like what I saw out of Dalano Banton with his aggressiveness and his attackingness with playing point guard. He also fit really well with Payton Pritchard working nice as a facilitator alongside with Dalano Banton, but also looking as the nice shooter off the the edge, pairing upside Dalano Banton if Dalano Banton were to create his own shot and play make for this offense, which makes me really excited. Also, great games from Oshae Brissett and Lamar Stevens. Again, those guys were crashing the boards and making tough finishes on the defensive end. Really big impacts that you like to see out of these wings, as the Celtics did lose a lot of rebounding in Robert Williams. We're going to need that out of these guys, and since these guys are on cheap contracts, you also love to see it. Lamar Stevens playing his heart out in that fourth quarter, going down to the wire, finishing it, playing great. Let's look back at this box score to look at some more numbers. Guy like Payton Pritchard again excelled tonight, finishing the night off with 21 points, shooting 4 for 11 from 3. Not the greatest shooting night from Payton Pritchard from 3, but obviously still creating for this offense, looking very nice in this pick and roll, looking like a better facilitator than he was in the past years. In past, he's looked like just a spot-up shooter, a guy that can just sit on the edge. But with these pick and rolls, he was looking solid and looks like he could be a great facilitator for this Boston Celtics team alongside their other guards. Another guard that I would like to talk about too is J.D. Davison, the two-way guy on the Celtics. Played with the team a little bit last year. He's from Alabama. His pace and quickness with this Celtics team leading the fast breaks was exciting, and I love to see how he was performing on that and excelling. I think him and Banton running a nice guard duo, if the team has a faster paced team that they're going up against, or if they want to switch a pace on a slower team and bring that fast paced energy for a quick minute or two, I think that would be a great combination of guards that they could run. I think Banton found a nice piece in the rotation as tonight. Same for Svi Mykhailiuk. Now, some down points that I want to talk about the Boston Celtics. Obviously, tonight was a big night for two guys, being Sam Hauser and Luke Kornet, and those guys did not come up to play as well as everyone is thinking. Luke Kornet, obviously said by Joe Mazzulla to be the backup center for this Celtics team, did not have the greatest performance. Not really crashing the boards that much. Looks like a good vertical lob threat, and looks like he can do everything else, like pass, set screens, be a great third center for this Celtics team. But ultimately, it just seems like he's going to come short on that rebounding aspect. And as we saw great minutes from Wenyen Gabriel and Neemias Queta tonight. Neemias Queta actually, I think, playing better than Luke Kornet defensively and offensively, crashing the boards, fighting for those defensive rebounds, going for those putbacks. Neemias Queta looks like he might earn that backup bench roster spot, or possibly even move up from his two-way deal and actually get a guaranteed roster spot. Wenyen Gabriel only played some end minutes towards the end of the fourth quarter. We didn't see that much out of him. Had a little bit of foul trouble. Obviously, I'm not going to say that all of them were his fault, because some of these fouls called against the Celtics, I personally don't think were fouls, and Scalabrine would agree with me as well. But I think that Wenyen Gabriel has a high motor, can bring some energy to this team, and if he were to get hot on a night, getting some putback dunks or getting, a couple blocks or something like that, I think he could bring some energy to this Celtics team. Possibly. Another guy that I want to talk about that didn't have the greatest performance either was Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser, the past two games, just hasn't had the greatest three-point shooting percentage. And honestly, that's kind of sad to see, as I was kind of high on Sam Hauser coming into these games. And it's kind of sad. Svi Mykhailiuk actually outperformed him. Looks like he might be able to take that wing spot over Sam Hauser, and we'll have to see with the upcoming preseason games with Mykhailiuk and Hauser competing for that backup wing spot to be that offensive one, as I think that Brissett and Stevens are effective more defensively. And lastly, the one player that I want to talk about is Jordan Walsh. Just want to say he had some great lights tonight, had some great defensive stops, a nice steal on a fast break. Love to see that out of Jordan Walsh. One of the key players that I'm very high on in the Celtics this year, and even though we haven't seen a lot of preseason time for him this season, I think he's going to be very impactful. But that's all we have for here on Celtics Digest today, breaking down the post-game news between the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. Unfortunately, the Celtics did lose 114-107, but they'll be back on it on Wednesday night versus the Philadelphia 76ers again, and we'll have another post-game coverage video coming that night. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned to Celtics Digest for all your Celtics content. I'm Bruce Veliz. I'll catch you guys in the next video.